it's so great to see you guys. Thanks for watching. Can I ask you for a favor, if you don't mind? Can you write down, I feel terrific today in the comment section below? Help me engage with you. I want to connect with you. I want to authentically know how you're doing. And also, if you have any questions that maybe I can answer for you in a video, I would love to do that for you. So don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe and share and tell all of your friends about the connections that you're making. And I will see ya on the flip side.
Days ago was your birthday, eh?
Mm-hmm.
So you're an old lady.
Yeah.
It's okay. The best of us are. Yes. So we're expecting 9 people, which is great. That's a nice sized birthday party. And believe it or not, I do a lot of these birthday parties online, even before COVID. So, it's just super cool that even through COVID, we can do things like this, which is really great. So that's exciting. So I'm just gonna prep all my cards here and just kind of get everything ready since no one's here just yet. Okay, so I'm gonna go blank for just a moment, but I promise to be back. Okay.
All right. I also have my boyfriend here with me too.
Oh, okay. Was he part of the 9 people?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so then I can read for at least for you 3 in the meantime, and hopefully as other people come in, it won't be so distracting. But for time's sake, let's at least kind of get in on this. Hi.
Hello.
What's your name?
Austin.
Hi, Austin. It's so nice to meet you. So there's KymLynn, Austin, and then Joseph. Okay, great. So who would like to go first? Birthday girl.
I can
Let's do it. All right, birthday girl. So one of the things that's really important to do, and this is where it's going to be hard explaining this to people as they come in, is that the way the spirit world speaks to me is in metaphor. So I may not be exact or literal. Okay. So if you also think or receive the information in regards to, or in a way that's metaphorical as well as relatable, because my intention is to make sure you understand at least what I'm saying and it's relatable. So if it's not exact or literal and you're only listening to those words, you're going to miss out on information. Okay.
All right.
And so I'm going to ask you to sort of listen in that way as well. Okay. So do you have a question that you want to ask, or do you want me to just like free flow here and just... What I love is that Austin is there, so he can like go yes, because a lot of times like KimLynn might not remember something, but Austin will be like yeah. So I love that. That's great. So do you have a question or?
I'm curious about my love life.
So in other words, this is going to be a relationship reading.
Yeah.
Austin, do you want to join in on this?
Sure.
You want to grab a chair so you're more comfortable?
Right here.
I love it. Okay. All right. Yeah, let me look in at both of you guys. Okay, so we'll start with you just really quick. KimLynn, say your first name out loud 3 times, please. Just your first name.
KimLynn.
Thank you. And then Austin, say your first name out loud 3 times, please.
Austin.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So here's the first information that I get about you two, and you tell me if I'm right or wrong. But there's what feels like this real sense of childlike fun with you guys. You understand this? There's a lot of laughter and play, even, and of course I give the information that I get. So Joseph, if you're uncomfortable hearing this, just close your ears. But even sexually, like there's a lot of fun. You guys have fun together. You understand this? Yeah. It is such a beautiful thing that you guys have that, because believe it or not, a lot of people are not like that who are in relationship right now during these challenging times. And I know this because I do a lot of relationship readings. Okay. So it is so, and I'm getting chills on this. It is just so refreshingly nice to see a couple playing, because right now the frequency and the energy of play is actually the complete opposite of trauma, which is what's happening to pretty much every human being right now because of COVID. And then on top of that, you add the politics. And then on top of that, you add just like everything and anything else, right? So you guys are really playful and really fun together. There's also a really deep heart link connection between you two. Do you understand this? Now, here's the thing is I feel like, and you tell me if I'm wrong, I feel like you guys haven't been together that long.
No.
For me, yeah, and for me, the definition of that long is like less than 3 months, or there's something. Do you understand the number 3 with you guys?
Or what, 6 months?
Yeah, a
6
little over
months.
6 months.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. I'm wrong about like the actual numbers, but there's a newness to you guys, which is really nice. If you guys play your cards right. And you stay this playful, you guys can stay together a long time. What I'm not getting is, are you guys each other's person? I'm not getting that information. So I'm not going to tell you something just because you want to hear it. I just don't think that that's very ethical of me to do. But I feel like for whatever, you guys take this and you guys make your own choices and your own decisions individually as well as together. But it does feel like this relationship does have legs to it. It is contingent upon the play. So please don't lose the play. Don't lose the laughter. Let him do things like that. Let him, for whatever, I don't know if he does anything to your nose, but let him like, you know, like, let him touch your face. Do you understand this?
Yeah.
Yeah? Do you do that?
Mm-hmm.
You touch her face, you just like poke at her and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let him do it. See, like let him lick your nose. You know what I mean? Like, and it's not necessarily just a sexual thing with him. Like it's his way of expressing himself in a really playful manner in that moment. And again, play right now is so important. And if you guys can get through this really hard time, and I do feel like you guys will be together at, you know, like minimum a year. Okay. So there's good news to that, right? Again, am I perfect and all knowing? Not necessarily, but this is what it feels like. So let him do those silly things. Sometimes I feel like you like to take too much control over things. Do you understand this, KymLynn?
Yeah.
Yeah. So here's the thing, KymLynn. We're dealing with 2 different kinds of energies, masculine and feminine energy. And they are very polar. They're very opposite because they work off of each other. The masculine energy holds the container for the feminine energy. So what Austin does is he builds and he creates the safe space for you to be all wacky and all of that. The problem can come in, or I see the potential and the possibilities that when you want to take control over something, it can be a little bit of a power play because Austin's like, no, that's my job. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Do you understand that? Yeah. So what happens during those moments is that there can be like a power play. Now, unless you're feeling unsafe or you're feeling threatened by Austin, which I can't imagine that would be the case, but everybody has their own personal triggers. Let him kind of like drive the relationship. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you can express yourself and express yourself all the way, because I feel like Austin, you have, don't take this the wrong way, it's a good thing. You have feminine energy within you too. You understand this?
Yeah.
See, that's a beautiful thing. A lot of men are not like this. So he has the capability to hold space for you. So he will let you cry. He will let you bitch. He will let you complain, and he'll just be there for you. And a lot of men, it's hard for them to do that because they don't have as much of that balance. So when you're coming in and you're coming from a more masculine side, you're having 2 masculine energies kind of come together. So I'm just going to merely suggest that if you're finding that you guys are challenging each other, KymLynn, you might be taking on more of a masculine role. Now, to just sort of opposite this, Austin, if you find that, or even KymLynn too, we're going to do a little bit of the opposite, but I don't feel like it's a problem. Okay, just so you know that. But I just feel like as time goes on, this may come up. It doesn't have to. I could be wrong. When you find that things are boring or they're flatline, because remember, you guys are all about play and silliness, and it's humanly impossible to always have all that energy all the time, because you're going to get tired, you're going to have emotions. But if you're finding things are flat and boring, I'm going to suggest to you, Austin, that you consider you might be using too much of your feminine energy.
Okay.
So you're going to have to like step up and be more masculine and take control and take charge.
Okay.
Okay. But again, not at her expense.
Yeah.
You know, and it's not a power play. It's just, here. Can you guys see this? You see the water inside, how it just kind of moves around, but you know it's not spilling out everywhere because it's being held by a container. So there'll be times where you guys switch on and off, but in terms of like the direction of the relationship, it's good for you to know if like you're uncertain, KymLynn, if you're uncertain, like I don't know what's going on, you ask. By no means am I saying let him just drive, but there's a tendency where it feels like you get in those places of uncertainty where you feel safer kind of like taking control.
Yeah.
And it's at those moments where you're not being as feminine to receive him. So there might be a little bit of headbutting at that time. Okay. But you guys, the playfulness, all of that, I love it. I love it. You guys feel like a good match. You do. You really do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys feel that though?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Okay. So do you have any more questions in regards to your love life? And then if you want, we can go individually. Like if you had any other questions that were not about your love life, since I had you guys
questions too. So I'm in the National Guard and I'm leaving for basic in January.
Okay.
I'm wondering if I'm going to be okay physically, mentally, and emotionally.
Okay. And it's National Guard. Okay. Yes. Okay. So here's where the challenge, I feel like my heart, when I tap into you, I feel like my heart gets a little sore. And I feel like that's just because there's some separation between you. Austin, you're not going with her, are you?
No.
Because I feel like there's a bit of a separation. But it doesn't feel long. I'm not familiar with the National Guard. I'm not familiar with any military branches, really. I just know the names, you know, but I don't know how they operate. But there's something about the National Guard which feels like it's less time away than you would be if you were like in a different branch, in like Army or Navy or something like that. So you are very sensitive. You understand that? And it's like your heart is seriously precious. You like pretty much wear your heart on your sleeve and you're like, hey, you understand this? So I love the fact that you're, you know, going into like a really tough field, right? Which is probably why you have a lot of masculinity in you. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you know, thank you for your service, for crying out loud. That's awesome. But I feel like the separation might tug on your heart. Okay. That doesn't mean you're going to become mentally unbalanced. It doesn't mean you're going to, you know, go crazy or anything like that. But I do feel like you're going to have to learn how to regulate your heart. Okay. So one of the things, I don't know if you guys have already discussed how you're going to keep in touch, but I do feel like it will be really important for you to keep in touch. And when you have the time to touch base with Austin, touch base. Don't push it aside. Okay. It's going to be super important for you not to talk yourself out of it because you feel like you should be tougher or stronger or whatnot. Because I do feel like you're going to be called by your environment to be stronger. But I understand where they're coming from, but you still have to be authentic with yourself. Okay. Do you understand that? Does that make sense to you? Yeah. So you got to be more authentic with yourself. So if you're feeling sad or you're feeling like I need to touch base with Austin, do it. Don't say, oh, what will the other people think, or whatever excuse you can come up with. Because I feel like you have a tendency, you can talk yourself out of things. You understand this? Yes. Just be really honest with yourself and in your heart. And there's no shame in it. Like, you're blessed that you have a boyfriend who can hold that space for you. So if you need to go ahead and say, I miss him or whatever, I just want to hear his voice or just whatever, reach out to him. Okay? Just don't talk yourself out of it. That's where I don't want to say mental problems, but that's where some of your emotional imbalance may happen if you don't do that. So no matter what your environment is, okay, you are going to be called to be like stronger and tougher than I don't want to say than you are, because you do have that capability to go, and like, which is great. But don't deny the sensitivity that you have in yourself, okay? The other thing is, I don't know if you're concerned about friendships or meeting other people. Is that a concern? Because I feel like you will fit in. Does that make sense to you?
Okay, yeah.
Was that one of your concerns? Because I feel like you're going to fit into, like, you'll find friends. You're not going to be lonely. That's what I feel like. One of your concerns might have been lonely. What's happening? I'm so sorry. Like, are there people standing around in the back?
My mom's right here.
Oh, okay. Hi, Mom.
You're not
I'm so sorry. It's a bit distracting because I need to be able to focus on your energy. So I apologize, but it's a bit distracting. So I do feel like, don't worry about it. There will be friends, so you won't be lonely. Physically, you're fine. I don't feel like everything is as of this conversation. I don't feel like there's any mortal danger. I don't feel like you're going to injure yourself. I do feel like you will be pushed though. Okay. So, but that doesn't mean it's bad. It's just like, and I feel like you might have to pull over. I don't know why I want to say this, but pull over and catch your breath sometimes. Okay. It just feels like, you're just not used to what will be happening physically. I feel like you're going to be fine. You're a tough cookie who has a beautiful, sensitive side. You cannot dismiss that sensitive side. If you do, that's where you'll start to actually have challenges. So,
all right.
Hopefully that helps you and makes you feel better. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Any other questions?
All right. So you can do medium readings.
Yes, but that's not in this session, because this is a psychic. Yeah, mediumship. It's a whole other energy, and I work with it differently. So the answer is yes, just not for this party environment for tonight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. My career.
Your career, just like in general, or are you currently working?
In general.
In general. Okay. So do you have any idea what you want to do or no?
I want to work with music.
Okay. Oh, okay, good. So here's what's coming to me. And the reason why I said good, because I know there's a way to put these together. I just don't know the intricacies and the details, because actually what I got was electronics.
Okay.
That's what I got. And you said music, but I almost see it more like engineering. Okay. So like, I feel and I see you sitting at one of those big ass boards that has a lot of those button things.
Yeah.
Again, you'll have to forgive me. I don't know what they're called. But so it's not, I'm not saying you can't make music. Of course, you can totally make music and sing and all that stuff. But I see like electricity and electrical stuff. And I see you kind of like, because you're also analytical, right? Yeah. And I feel like, maybe it's DJing. Because there's something about making sure beats and like transitions run smoothly. So does that resonate with you at all? Does that make any, like, that resonates with you? Yeah. Okay, I don't know how the National Guard works. Like, I don't know. So I don't know if you're given jobs, or I don't know if you do things. I don't know if it's just a weekend. I don't know how that works.
Mhm.
But if you can get into an electrical side of it, I feel like that would be really good. Because again, I feel like there's some sort of marrying for you, electrics or electricity. And then you said music, which is your passion. So it's a good idea to stick to your passion for sure.
Mhm.
And so music fits really, like, it wouldn't surprise me if you end up being like a music producer.
Mhm.
It wouldn't surprise me, you know, or even a DJ.
Yeah.
So if that's something that you like, my suggestion, I feel like, try and learn those technicality stuff, those technical stuff. I don't know how old you are in human years. I just know your birthday was 2 days ago and you look young to me. So I feel like you have time to develop this stuff. So that's what it feels like to me. Ultimately, you know, you got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes we get off track and then we come back on track. But if music is your passion, and you're asking me, well, what do you see me doing? I can see how those two would marry very well.
Mhm.
So that's what, that's what I see. So
Okay.
Okay, so hold on. Freedom just showed up, so stand by. Okay, so KimLynn, any last thing here? Any last question? And then we can move on to Austin. Then he can be in the hot seat, unless he doesn't want to. Okay, you're good. Okay. So, Sir Austin, do you have any questions that I can help you out with?
I mean, more just of a general, kind of like her for careers.
Okay. Got it. Okay. All right. And again, I feel like this might have something to do with that sensitivity, because again, you're not your typical kind of alpha male, right? Which is, for the direction the world is going in, it's a good package that you're in. The high sensitivity, I do feel for some reason a connection to you and animals. Am I going to be right? I don't know. Am I going to be wrong? I don't know. Have you ever considered veterinary work at all?
Not recently, but when I was younger, I sure did.
When you were younger. Got it. Okay. So you wanted to be an animal doctor. Well, I feel, look, there's also something about the outdoors. Do you understand that? Are you just an outdoors kind of guy, or do you not like to be outdoors? It's either or. There's something about the outdoors.
Not really.
Not really. Okay. So don't be a ranger. Okay. Because that was coming up. And again, it has to do with animals, but that could be more like working at a zoo. So when you ask me, that's what's coming up. Okay, is to somehow work with animals, but that doesn't mean I'm right. And ultimately you have to make your own choices and your own decisions, right? I can't do that for you. But if you, if there's something you're considering, what is it?
Either something in like video games or like remodeling houses.
Remodeling houses. That's what it feels like to me. Now I get video games. I understand that, but there's something about, and again, this could just be because you do have the ability to create structure. It feels to me like you would be really good at, and again, it's part of the whole thing, but I feel like you actually design, like maybe architecture, if you're not going to actually build architecture, your mind is thinking all the time. You're always strategizing. And I feel like you actually can see things, and like you can actually visually create something in your brain, right? You understand that?
Yeah.
So I can see why you would do video games, but again, I feel like in terms of your alignment, like just your ability to hold space, literally create structure. That's what it feels like. What is this? Did you also have a military background? Because there's a lot of structure with you as well. Do you understand this?
I mean, a lot of my family.
Okay. But you're very like succinct with things, right?
Yeah.
You understand this? Yeah. Because like, again, that's the whole structure thing. You know, if you're not going to be a vet, look, again, this has to sit right and feel right to you. I can say whatever I want, right? I can say, go out and be a belly dancer, right? It has to fit right with you, but I like architecture for you. Okay. And the other thing is, here's what I see, and this is completely and totally up to you, but I see that you could actually have your own firm within 5 to 10 years. So I don't know if you ever thought about working on your own too.
Yeah, I've definitely thought of just kind of working.
Yeah. You first have to understand and know how things kind of run. Yeah. And then it feels like there's still a little bit of education that needs to be had about it. But again, with you, structures are really, like, you feel safe within structure, not only creating structure, but just it gives you certainty. So it makes you feel better. So I like that for you. Again, it doesn't matter what I like. You ultimately have to make that decision. But I like that for you. I think you'd be really good at it. And I feel like, again, the potential and the possibility, I'm not the end all be all, but I do feel like that potential and that possibility of you actually having your own firm can exist. So hopefully that, I don't know if that gives you more direction or if, you know, you like that or whatnot, but that feels nice. Yeah. Also, so this is coming in too. I do feel like, I don't know if you've ever had this, if you've thought about it or not, but I feel like family is coming in for you too. So I do feel like you do have family.
Yeah.
Okay. So you do create family. You do want family. At least that's what it feels like. And I feel like it's almost like you have that perfect, ideal American looking family. Okay. Just for like when I look at it and when I see it, but I do feel like you have children. I feel like you have at least 2 kids, and I do feel like you have a family.
Okay.
She's like, I don't want kids. No, I'm kidding. So for you, it's really coming up like that. You're older than she is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like you're older. So, that's it. It's not like it wasn't coming up for you, KymLynn, because of anything. It just feels like he's just sort of more on a trajectory with his career and all this. And I don't know why it just feels that way, or maybe you've thought about it longer, or you feel like you have more of a, responsibility and accountability when it comes to career. Mm-hmm. So, I wasn't not saying anything about that. So, and of course it can totally happen. So just so you guys know that, but, yes, I like that. So, you know, just to sort of sum up, just as you guys together as a couple, because that's how we started, this is a really lovely match. Keep playing with each other. Play outside the bedroom, play inside the bedroom. Let him, like, you know, when he plays with you and he's silly with you, let him do that, because it's his way of expressing, like, it's almost like he's saying, I love you. I don't know, you know, whether you guys have said I love you or not. It's like in those moments, he's truly, honestly, genuinely, authentically loving you. Mm-hmm. Okay. So allow him that, because it's his way of expressing himself. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you guys for letting me read for you. And we're going to go on to Joseph now. We'll just go in order of like people coming in. How does that sound?
Oh, my mom wants to join in too.
Well, you know, she might as well. I mean, I don't know that all 9 people are going to show up. So yeah. So do you mind if I read Joseph first and then I come back to mom and then we'll go to Freedom?
Yeah,
Is
that's
that
good.
Cool? Okay, Cool. So, because Joseph has been waiting so patiently. Okay, so let me see. I'm going to see if I can mute you guys. I don't know. How do I mute you? Hold on, just so that I don't. Hold on. Oh, you already muted yourself. Okay, great. So Joseph, can you do me? Thank you. Joseph, can you say hi so I can get you here? Hi. Okay. Okay, Joseph, so you kind of have an idea now of how I read because you got to see, so I don't have to give you the whole spiel because you were here for that. So do me a favor and say your first name only. Say it out loud 3 times, please.
Okay, Joseph.
Okay, Joseph. Okay, Joseph.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm getting into your energy. You have a very pleasant energy.
Thank you.
Have you been told, because what I'm picking up, just first of all, I will give you a chance to ask your question, but I just feel like I would just want to share with you just to make sure that we're connected. It feels like to me there's this, I don't know how to describe it other than suave calmness to you. Do you understand that? It's almost like you have a lot of patience. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is really beautiful. KimLynn, you have, I'm just going to I'm still with you. I'm still with you, Joseph, but KimLynn, you have a lovely ability to draw in men who have a lovely balance. No. You don't understand how important this is. It's super important. It's super important. You have a lovely ability to draw in men who are like respectful, you know, not assholes. I don't know how else to say it. So, okay, so Joseph, back to you. Joseph, I will be happy to say you're not an asshole. Is that, I mean...
I'd hope not, you know?
No, but I like you have a lovely aura, like a lovely sense to you as well, very patient, which is really, really nice. I would not call you old school, which is so nice. So in other words, like sort of like stuck in the old dynamic of like what right and wrong is. I don't know how to explain it, but you're more evolved. I mean, that's the only way I can say it. More modern, more evolved, more kind, more genuine. And again, the ability to actually, I don't know, because I really want to be careful for how I say this, because I don't want to come off, you know, like you have a really lovely way of managing and being with women. Okay. But I'm not calling you a player or anything that. It's like you have this really nice way of being able to be present with women and allowing them to have a say and feel safe. So in other words, you make women feel safe, which is really nice. How old are you in human years?
18.
You're so young and you're like already in this like mature place. That's fabulous. Does that make sense to you when I say you're a lot more mature?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's okay to be an 18-year-old, but I feel like sometimes people might think you're older than you actually are. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
And not because of the way you look. You actually look really young, but again, it's the way you hold yourself, and it's your energy and your ability to hold emotion. I think that's a better way of saying it. You're able to be in emotional situations. Do you understand this? Does this make sense to you? Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's so nice. And I'm having a really major sense of deja vu right now. This is so freaking cool. All right. So everybody here is in the right place at the right time. Just so everybody knows that. You're all on the right path. Okay. Awesome. Okay. So Joseph, do you have a question that I can answer for you?
I do. So next year I'll be going off to college, and I was just wondering, like, is that the right path I should take? Like, is college, like, am I gonna get in? And if so, like, is that what I should do?
Yeah. What is it that you want to study? Do you know? Or you're just going in general?
More of like biology. I kind of have like an idea of like a physical therapist, or to help people, you know, like on a biological level. Yes.
Okay. I'm going to pull some cards, but I feel like I already know this answer. Okay. So here's what I'm going to say to you. I don't know if you've thought about this. I'm not going to use cards right now because it's like all coming through. I don't know how you've strategized your school. But if I feel like chiropractic or you said physical therapy, right? So chiropractic or physical therapy, I don't know what kind of education you actually need for that. So I don't know that you need to go to university for that. You may or may not need to, because it feels like you might be coming at this from an angle where it's just too strict, too rigid, and it doesn't have to be that way. And my concern is if you are not that rigid kind of person. You understand this? Like you're more free flowy. And it's not like you can't keep up with work or anything like that. You totally can. You're intelligent. you're willing, that's not the thing. It's almost like the best way I can kind of describe this is how I'm going to describe it. Again, it's metaphorical and may not be exact or literal. Almost like there may be a specific vocational school that you can go to instead of going to a 4-year university. Do you understand that? Does that make sense? But I almost feel like the mindset that you have of the rigidity is I have to actually go to university first and then go maybe to be more specific or whatever. And I could be wrong. Again, I could be wrong in terms of that. But there's something about you having to look at things a certain way. And I feel like if you just started looking at the different avenues or sort of reverse engineer, right? So you're like, I want to do, and by the way, I do feel like you're picking the right thing because you are sensitive, again, with the sensitivity, KymLynn, you pick really lovely people around you. I feel like you believe it or not, might have healing talents in your hands. Do your hands ever get hot sometimes?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's the sign of a healer. So by you touching people's bodies, and I'm getting chills on this, chiropractor, physical therapy, massage therapy is usually inside of physical therapy. Something for you to look into too. This is coming to me. It's called network spinal analysis, where it's a chiropractic, but you're also dealing with the nervous system through energy. You, my dear, are a healer. That's what it feels like to me. And I'm pretty confident in that. And it's usually it takes one to know one. Mm-hmm. So for you, first of all, you're going in the right direction of physical therapist, chiropractor, anything like that. There's something, I feel like you just need to look at it from a different, so reverse engineer it. Go, do I need to do all of this? My concern would be, again, like the rigidity mindset of like, I have to do, like you would put so much pressure on yourself when there's an easier way to do it. And the other thing is like, you have to make your own decisions. I don't want to tell you what to do. I just want to tell you the potential and the possibility. I would hate for you to incur a shit ton of debt for something you can do much cheaper because there's another way to do it. And not one way is better than the other, because they're both going to get you to the same place, which is where you need to be, and which is you're like on the right track with that. So I hope that helps you a little bit. I hope. Now, could I be wrong? Oh yeah, absolutely. So I'm not the end all be all, but I do have to say you're a healer. So I love that you were going into like physical therapy and all that, because that's a healing field. And on top of that, because you'd be touching people, like you'd be transferring energy. So something you might want to learn on the side, just on the side for fun, is Reiki also.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, or any other type of healing modality. The other thing they're saying is maybe acupuncture. But here's the thing. You can put all of these together because you're a healer. Ultimately, bottom line is you're a healer. So you can learn all of these modalities and actually create something of your own. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would totally go to you. Yeah. Do you have any other questions?
Yeah, so along the lines of like career and stuff, like I like to just make like fun little videos.
Yeah.
Just like little projects for fun, and like my dad jokes around about it and he says maybe you should be like a director instead. Uh-huh. And so I don't like, it's always been like a fun little thing that I do. Yeah. I didn't see it as a career because it's like not as stable for financial wise. So.
Well, here's what I'm going to say. Why do you have to choose one or the other? Why can't you do everything? Here's the thing. This is a real thing, because the way the world is going in, people don't have to have a title. All they need is a stream of income. So what if you had different streams of income? Then you don't have to just be this, just be that. So if you don't have to not do that, you can do like your physical therapy or your healing or whatever you end up going to school for that you get a certificate for. But you can also do videos, and you can also make and do all that other stuff too, and earn money. So why do you have to limit yourself? The way the world is going is a couple things. Certificates, degrees, all that stuff are not going to be as important. And I'm sure if your parents were here, they would like kick my ass for saying this. They'd be like, turn that off now. But it's reality, because we just need incomes. We don't, and what's happening too with the destruction and reconstruction of businesses and business systems, people aren't going to be able to afford paying somebody that has a master's degree.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So they're going to look at somebody who might have, a bachelor's degree, who has all of the same qualities and qualifications as someone who has maybe just like a certificate. And maybe that person with just the certificate interviewed better. Maybe they have a better personality. Maybe they just have better everything than just because this person has a degree. So I don't want to tell you don't get the degree, don't do any of these things. But what I'm telling you is what's coming up is that people are going to be hired for their skills and talents, and people are going to have different streams of incomes. So why do you need to limit yourself? So you can do what dad says, but you can also do what you say. So, I hope that helps. And that's the way the reality is going. You watch and see, Mm-hmm. So you can also do video games too, just like Austin. Take his video game thing. So, but when it comes down to it, the thing that I pick up the most about you is that you are a healer. And here's the thing is, like, let's say you do videos and all of that, your message could actually be very impactful too. Because as a healer, you're not just going, like, you have more of, like, how do I say it? Almost like a message that needs to get out. Not that people who are not healers don't have messages, but you might be able to form yours in a way that impacts a lot of people. So don't say I have to pick this over that. Do both. Do everything. And don't tell your parents I said you don't have to get a degree. They'll kick mine.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's the reality.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Joseph.
Mm-hmm.
It was a pleasure reading for you. Thank you for letting me.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, I'm going to mute you. Don't be offended now.
Okay.
All right. Let's go to Mom. Where's Mom?
My mom says freedom can go.
Oh, okay. She's given freedom. Okay, she's given some freedom to freedom. Freedom, it's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
So, I know you weren't here at the very beginning, so I'm just going to give you a little bit of a spiel. I'll try not to take up too much time. And you've been able to see me give readings and, so far, so you kind of know what you're getting yourself into right now. But the best way to receive the information is metaphor. So I may not be exact or literal. So my intent is to bring this information to you in a way that you can understand and that it's relatable. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm asking everybody when they first start out, so that I can make the connection, to say their first name only out loud 3 times, please.
Okay. Freedom, freedom, freedom.
Thank you. Freedom, is that your birth name or is that a nickname?
Yeah, I got it from when I was born, my birthday.
Wow. That's so freaking cool. All right. So Freedom, do you have a question that you might want to ask?
Okay. I'm wondering, how can I move forward in music? I really, really want to be a music performer. I have since I was like a baby, like a toddler, basically. I've been into music, and I haven't seen much opportunity for growth in that path lately, because I've been isolating due to the pandemic.
Right.
And it costs a lot of money to get, music software, and I don't have good equipment anyways, so it's just been tricky.
Yeah. That's a problem, because the first information that I had was for you to create your own studio, which you're just saying is expensive. And I don't know much about like how to go about creating studios and all of that stuff, but there's got to be a way to do it cheaply. There has to be a way. So first of all, I do feel like you're legitimately, like, your feelings of being stuck is legitimate because it's dependent on finances, right? So, but here's the thing is, like, I don't know how familiar you are with manifestation and creating new realities. It's very woo, okay? And I don't know how woo you are or how open you are about energy, but I'm of the belief that nothing has to stop you. You just have to create opportunities. So if the opportunity doesn't exist, there's a way to make it exist. So you might be saying to yourself, well, how do I do this, Terry? So this is where it comes in, where there might be a belief system right now that you can't do this because I don't have money. So you might actually be saying, I can't be a performer because I don't have money. Do you understand that? How does that feel when I say that?
Well, I think I can do it. And I think money is an obstacle, but not the obstacle. It's not an impassable wall. Perfect.
Then I'm going to give you a homework assignment, because the reason why I'm going to give you a homework assignment is because when I say they, it's my team, my spirit team, talking to your spirit team. They are talking about starting or creating or starting to build something, because you have to have something to give to someone, right? So if money is not an obstacle, because now you're saying something else, if money is not an obstacle, then you need to get on it to get that momentum and that energy going. So maybe just buy one thing this month, and next month another thing, and the next month another thing, just so that you're not siphoned all of your money, because it is expensive to build a studio. But what they're talking about is, if you don't start doing something or taking an action on something, the momentum isn't going to be there. So you're just going to continue staying in the energy of stuckness. Do you understand this? So then what's going on with the money? Because you mentioned money, and I can't let that go. I can't let that go because you were contradicting yourself.
Well, I don't see money as like something that's I see not having money as an obstacle that makes this a more difficult reality to achieve, but I don't see it as something that's insurmountable. And that's where I think that contradiction was.
Got it. Okay.
As far as like income, I don't have at the time, because I had some jobs and then the pandemic hit, and now I'm isolating because I'm living with my grandma.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Yeah. Yes. So there's just some energy work that you need to do. Totally doable. So you need to create the opportunities for money to come in so that you can build that studio. So you have to, there's something, again, part of that process is an investment. Now, not just a financial investment, but do you know what intention is?
I have some idea of an intention,
yeah.
But I'd like to hear your thoughts on it.
So when you're doing manifestation work, you can't just want something. You have to want something and take an action at the same time. That's called intention. So you can want something all you want. I want a girlfriend. I want a boyfriend. I want to get married. You can want that all you want. But you got to take action. I got to ask a girl on a date. I got to ask a guy on a date, right? So there has to be an action. So your desire to do this, to be a performer, is much bigger right now than your intention. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
So that's why they're saying you have to start building it. It's that saying, build it and they will come. So what can you do for a first step to build something? Is it just buy a microphone? I mean, I don't know what equipment you might already have. You know, or is it just this, or is it saving up for the software? But then again, it's like, I need a job to collect the money so that I can save up for it, right? So as a singer, how's your imagination?
How's my imagination?
Yeah.
I consider it pretty good, I think.
Perfect. So, yeah. Because I mean, that's the biggest, I mean, the biggest thing that you have to create this for yourself. So a really big technique in creation, in getting an end result, is imagining as if something already happened. So you technically don't have anything already done. Like nothing's done. You don't have a studio. So you have to imagine putting your studio together piece by piece as if it's already done. So there's an aspect of having gratitude for something that's not done yet. So that would be something for you. So again, you know, think of what the first thing you would need to build your studio. Think of that, and then come into a place where you imagine, so this is where your imagination comes in, that you already have it. And you're so grateful for it. And on more than that is, what does it feel like that you have it? Now that you have it, how does that feel? What are you wearing? Who are you in that moment now that you have that? I know you can do this. I know you can do this because you're a performer, which means you have the ability to not only pretend, but you have the ability to feel. And since it's music, you're able to get into frequency and vibration. So you can put that sense out there. I know you can do this. You just don't know how. So that's why I'm saying you can do this piece by piece by piece. So just start thinking, because we're not going to be able to do all this in this, you know, short amount of time that we have together, right? But start thinking, what would the first thing that I would need to be, that I would need? And you feel into it as if you already have it. So you have to pretend you have it already, over and over and over again. Your job is not to figure out how it comes. Your job is to design the final product, my studio. How that happens isn't up to you, because you have no idea how the money is going to come to you. You don't know that. So you don't have to worry about the how. You just worry about the designing of it. And your name, I kid you not, it's no mistake. So that's probably something you really love to feel, is freedom, right? Yeah. I mean, I do. Yeah. So that's also another reason, is because you're actually not right now living up to your name energetically, because you are in a way trapped, right? So here, let's try this. Let's do this. So I don't know if you can see these, but let's say this is COVID and this is grandma's house, right? And you're like stuck in between here. Yes, it sucks that you have these boundaries, but you have a lot of freedom within that you haven't realized that you have. So what also feels to me, what they're talking about, is you're restricting yourself in many ways that you don't have to restrict yourself. You understand this? Does that make sense to you? Yeah. So part of that process also is to find out how you can have the freedom within your boundaries of being stuck. It's circumstantial, and you're not the only one, and it sucks ass. I cannot bullshit you on that. I won't bullshit you on that. It sucks ass. Everybody is being restricted on something right now. I'm in Los Angeles. We're on like major, and fire is everywhere. It's like fucked up out here. It really is. So I have to find ways of feeling freedom within my boundaries. That was a really good breath you just took, by the way. You're like, that was a good sigh. That was your body releasing energy. Yeah. So use your imagination more, daydream a lot more. It seems so counterintuitive to what we're taught, like get to work, do this, produce this, bring in money, blah, 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 blah. But that's not energy work. Energy is, our world that is reflected around us comes from what we're feeling inside. So if you want to have that studio, you want to be that performer, that's where you feel a lot of fucking freedom. You're on stage, you're like, no, there's no boundaries, there's nothing. I'm just like, I'm a soul. I don't even have a fucking body. Like, I've got no restrictions. I'm just there, right?
Yeah.
So that's where the more you pretend and the more you daydream that you're there, you're aligning yourself up energetically to that frequency that your 3D physical world around you will start to reflect that as well. And you may start getting out of nowhere jobs and you're like, what the fuck? I never thought I could do something like this. Mm-hmm. Because now you're starting to think, so like your world will start to reflect more freedom the more you daydream. You're an artist. You're boxing yourself to be like everybody else and to do like everything else. And I have to do this and I have to do that. That's not who you are. Your name says everything. Does that make sense? Oh no, you're frozen. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that would be my suggestion to you. Okay. I know you can do this. You can totally do this, Freedom. You live it. You can totally do it. So I hope that helps.
Yeah.
A man of many words. All right, Freedom. Oh, I didn't hear you. What?
I just said it's a lot to think about.
I know.
Much to say about.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I don't know if you saw the chat at all, but this is being recorded. So if you want to see this again, I can send you a link. I can email you so you can watch this again and you can hear it again. Okay.
Will it be on like Google Drive?
Well, yeah, just it'll probably be here. I'll type it again here just so everybody has. Here, email me and I'll send you a link to like a Dropbox. I think it's Dropbox.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's at hello@terryhuberman.com. And so I know it's a lot that I just said right now, but when you go back and you listen to it, you can listen to it as many times as you want. You'll be wearing different ears each time. Mm-hmm. So for everybody, I just think it's really helpful to be able to go back and hear things. You know, you hear them at different times. So, well, thank you for letting me read for you, Freedom. That was a real pleasure. Mm-hmm. Okay. I'm going to mute you now. Don't be offended. Okay. How about Mom?
She's coming.
All right. We're going to end on Mom. Good. Hi, Mom. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Okay. So you're KymLynn's mom. Okay. Very cool. I don't think anybody else is popping in, KymLynn.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Yeah.
Sucks for that.
Yeah, exactly. Did you? I'm sorry. What?
No.
I'm sorry. I didn't hear what you had to say, Mom.
You just said hi to Freedom.
Oh, yes. Oh. You do have, I know I said it before, but it's a knack. It's fun. It's nice. It comes very natural. So that's good. So another reason for you that you will be just fine when you are going away. So you'll be fine. All right. So Mom,
yeah,
you have an idea of what to expect because you heard me give all these other readings. So will you do me a favor, Mom, and will you say your first name out loud 3 times, please? Just your first name.
Ha.
Oh, we cut out. What was the last one? Hung. Okay. Very nice. Okay. I think the thing is getting a little choppy. So, okay, Hung. Yes. Okay. So did you have a question that I can help you with?
Yes. Korea.
Your career. Okay. Sorry. It's a little bit, it's being a little choppy. So this is going to be interesting. Well, I will have patience if you have patience. Okay. Okay, so you have a question about your career. Got it. Okay, so are you currently working?
Yes.
Okay, and what do you do for your position? Like what is your job? What do you do?
Nail technician.
Nail technician. Okay. Got it. Okay. Yeah. So I don't know if you're concerned or worried about what's happening with COVID. I know I would be. And I'm not sure where in the United States you live because, like, for example, in Los Angeles, I don't even think that they've opened up like hair salons, but I don't think they've opened up nail techs yet. But I do feel, and I mean, I don't know what the laws are or what's going on wherever you are, but I do feel like if you were to do it individually, it's something you can do for people you already know. Here's the information that I'm getting. Once things get back to a normal, they'll never be normal like they used to be. So it's never going to be like it used to be. But what you may want to start doing is I feel like I'm having a hard time discerning whether you work for someone or you actually have your own store. Maybe you actually still work but have your own store. Does that make sense to you? Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, she feels like she has her own place, but she's not. Okay. So yes. So I mean, right now you're just like in a really shitty place and it is circumstantial. So I get that. There will be a return. I don't feel like you're going to lose clients per se, but I do feel like it's going to be slow in rebuilding. And that's only because people are really scared and it's terrifying. It has nothing it doesn't feel like there's anything, I don't feel like there's anything wrong with your business. It's not like you're being sued or anything like that. You understand that? There's nothing like that. So it's like, it's really circumstantial, it feels like. So what's coming through is that, you know, when things do pick up more, now I don't know if I'm not going to suggest that you reopen the store if it can't be opened, but if there are clients that you know personally or you know well enough consistently, you know, over the years, you may want to say, look, I'd be happy to work on you and, you know, just make sure it's very clean and all of that. I mean, you have to feel right with that, but I don't think, it just feels like it's going to take some time to get back to where you need to be. And the other thing that they're talking about is, I don't know what kind of artistic designs and artwork you do on nails. Is there a specific, do you have like a, you know, some salons are, it's pretty much what?
Everything, like some
Everything. Okay.
Young people come in, bring the cell phone, say, hey, I want the sound one.
Yeah. Because what I'm getting is that when things get back to a normal for you, you may want to have something special or some sort of specialty that nobody else around you has, so that becomes more of a draw to your store. So I don't know if there are any new trends. Maybe now you could start doing some research for new trends, but what they're talking about is some sort of specialty or specific art form or something along the lines in terms of what your store could have that nobody else has. But it's coming up as something artistic. Like way back in the day, it would just be plain polish. And then at one point people were putting designs on nails, right? So not everybody was doing designs on nails. There were specific artists that would do designs on nails, but now like everybody does that, right? So what I'm saying is that there's finding something. They're talking about that's how you would stand out and that's how you would build business faster when things get back to more normal. Finding something specific artistic wise, or it may not be exact. Again, I'm not saying exact, or I'm not being exact or literal. There could be something, some way, a technique or a type or something that's different, that's kind of new and innovative that your store has that other people don't have. So there might be some research that goes into that. But they're talking about that's how your store can stand out and start building clientele faster once things kind of get back to a more norm. Again, you know, I don't want you to break any laws or do anything like that or get in trouble, but it just feels like there could be some people you could be working on right now, unless you already are. Like, I know that there are people that do people's hair here in Los Angeles. They're not doing it in a studio per se, but they're going to people's homes or whatnot. But that's their choice, and that's up to them how they are, you know, choosing to do things. And I would never say to somebody, oh, go ahead and do that. But I'm saying that potential and possibility exists if you choose to do that. If you don't, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. So specifically when things start opening up again, find that thing that nobody else has, or that new trend, or whatever it is, with either nails or, you know, I don't know if you've thought about expanding into like hiring hair people, like making it more of a salon too. There's something about that, something about the expansion, doing something different that the stores around you are not doing. Your business will build up faster that way. Do you have any other questions? What is this about selling the store? Were you considering selling the store too? What is this about the store being sold? Do you understand this? Hold on. Do you understand this? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, it's like beginning of the year, but it's so difficult.
I wouldn't sell it right now.
Yeah. And then I am thinking to go back to school and get my license for cosmetology to teach cosmetology.
That's lovely. Oh, and you can, okay. So here's the thing. In terms of selling, and again, this feels more property oriented. Okay. So for whatever it's worth, it feels like you need to keep your property. I don't mean where you're living. I mean the store as an actual property. That could be the expansion that I was talking about. Like maybe your salon is a teaching school too. So I don't know if that's something that you would consider. You would obviously have to become certified or go back to school or whatever, but I feel like you could be teaching also from your store. So it doesn't feel right to be selling the store. It doesn't. If that's not something that you've thought about, that's okay. You know, it's something to think about. It just doesn't feel like the timing is right. But I do feel like you can go back to school if that's something that you want to do. I actually feel like you would enjoy going back to school. So there's a part where it feels like you would, like it wouldn't just be school for you. Like you would have fun. Like it would be enjoyable in your life. And I feel like you'd be learning new things and other things too. And again, you can bring that into the store and expand it. There's something about you expanding the store, and there are different, not physically, I mean, maybe physically eventually, but adding to the store or doing something different. That's what expansion means. It's like growth. It's something different than what is just going on now. I would keep the store for sure. I like you going back to school. I think you'd have fun. I think you'd really enjoy it. And I think you'd make a great teacher, but I think you can make like a teaching school too out of your store. Or maybe just start a whole school instead of the store. Now that store becomes a school. So keep the property, you know, like there's a shift and a change that happens in that space. The exacts, I don't know what they are. It's still being revealed. Like you're still in the process of developing it, and we're still in this pandemic, and like nobody knows any kind of outcome. But there's a change that happens to the store. I think you should keep the store, keep the property. I love you going back to school. I could see you teaching, but I think you might even open up a cosmetology school or something on that site. So there's something about that that feels right to me. You know, ultimately you have to make all those decisions on your own, you know? So I hope that helps. Did that help a little bit? I hope. Good. Well, we still have about 10 minutes, KymLynn. Is there any, do you want me to just open up to anybody who might have another question or?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Sure.
Okay. So, well, Freedom stepped away. He's grabbing his Freedom. Does Austin or anybody have like any other question that I can answer?
Yeah, I got one because she mentioned it.
Nice. Go for it.
About going back to school.
For you or her?
For me.
Okay. I just want to make sure I'm with the right person. Yes. Okay. Should you go back to school? Is that what you're asking? Yeah.
Yeah.
So there is something that still needs to happen in terms of learning process. Now, what I'm sharing with you now is piggybacking on if you're going to do the architecture or that structure building, because it does feel like there's still more learning that needs to be done. So whether it's learning in a school or learning on the job, like getting out in the field or learning, there's still more learning that does need to be done. It feels like you're on the trajectory and you're on the process, or in the process. So if you're going to ask me specifically, should I go back to school? Look, you ultimately have to make that decision, but I'm going to say it feels to me like it's a yes, because there's still more learning that needs to be had.
Yeah.
How that learning comes about, that's however you choose to actually do it, and how it comes about. But when you ask me specifically, and since there's some more learning that needs to be done, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's also something, I don't know if you understand this, there might be a fear about going back to school because the first time sucked. Do you understand this? Okay. So there's more of a fear about it, but you're different. You've changed. You're not the same person, so it wouldn't be the same experience.
Okay.
And I feel like there's a definite growth that's happened in you that you'd even be able to retain information better. Do you understand that? Was it hard for you with learning and all of that in school?
Yeah, for some subjects.
Yes. Yeah. It'll be easier this time. You're more mature. You're different. You're not the same person. So it is a lot easier.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there anybody else? Looks like, oh no, Freedom. No, yes, no. Yes.
Sure. Do you think, when do you think I'll maybe get into the field that I'm going to school for?
What are you going to school for?
Public health.
Okay. I want to share with you why I had that reaction. Okay. Now you've known I've been honest with everybody from the beginning. So I'm a no bullshit kind of person. And ultimately you have to make all your own decisions and all of that stuff. In terms of getting in school, I have an answer. The answer is yes. I feel like you're going to get in school and I think you would do okay. I don't feel like you would enjoy it. And I don't feel like it's ultimately what you're in alignment with, but I can't make that choice or decision for you. So here's what I will say. I don't know. Okay, when we're talking public health, because this is coming up when I look into public health in regards to you, here's where I say that if you choose this direction, where you will flourish. You need to be talking to people. So you couldn't have just an office space. So for you to flourish in this, it would be good for you to be traveling and teaching people maybe about public health issues or whatnot. So you not sitting behind a desk all day. Mm-hmm. So that would mean somehow, some way getting into a position of where there would be travel. Mm-hmm. And I think you'd be really good at teaching. So, and that involves other people. So even if you were a public health teacher, you know how they have travel nurses? I'm not saying you should be a nurse. I'm not saying you should be a nurse, but they have nurses who will go, like they're on certain contracts and they go and stay in certain areas for a certain amount of times and they're contracted. If you can, and again, listen, with your name, you can create whatever the fuck you want, right? So you can go and create something for yourself where you are maybe in certain areas teaching or speaking on certain aspects of public health, but you're not stuck in one place.
Right.
That would be my only suggestion. Now, if you could write and sing, and maybe that's how you bring both passions in, because I feel like you need to bring in your passion, which is performing, right? So already you're fine with like talking to people and all of that. That's good, because that's part of, you know, your who you are and your message. So maybe your particular angle is creating, being silly, whatever, music or singing or something as a way of teaching people. There's a way to do this. I don't know how to do it. That's where you're going to have to come up and do it. But like, you know, I've seen public speakers, and by the way, public speakers can make a shit ton of money. There are public speakers that make $25,000 for speaking 1 hour. Why can't you do that? And if you're going to go into public health, that's your particular thing, right? But you have to make yourself unique. So how would you do that? You would do that through creating some sort of song or music. Study stand-up comics. See how they do it. Because they'll bring in shit. They're on stage all the time. And a lot of them are talking bullshit, and some of them are talking really good stuff. You know, so if you're going to go in the public health direction, you just got to make it in alignment with you. Don't go the standard, typical way. So what I mean by that is you go to school, you learn. I mean, when you're in school and you learn, you do have to learn, like you have to study and read and take tests and all of those things. But when it comes time to getting a job and all that, don't be in like a cubicle office.
Right.
Somehow, some way, bring in your music, be silly, whatever. Even if you're going to just do a talk or you're going to talk to people, you open up with a song. I know that sounds silly. But remember, we don't have to limit ourselves. We can create stuff. It doesn't matter. The how doesn't matter. You're just going to design it. You're just going to feel into like what your ideal thing would be, right? So if it's public health, what about public health would make you feel good? And then imagine that, you know?
Well, what I really love about public health, I've been interested in it since I was a little kid as well. About the same amount of time as music.
So music and public health. Marry
Mhm.
them. Find a way to marry them.
Okay.
Find a way. Here's the thing about you. You actually care about people. So that's the public health thing. You understand that? That makes sense? There's a part of you that's a protector.
Maybe so.
Yeah. So it's just a matter of figuring it out. And you can and you will. But you just have to give yourself permission to think outside the box, because it's not going to be just like for so many of us here, like, you know, Joseph, right? Like there's a box, there's a conditioning. Society wants us to do something a particular way. Everything is being destroyed right now because it doesn't work. And so we're just moving into new ways, and it's scary and it's uncertain. And we have no idea, because we would want to have that box, because at least we know where we can go and where we can't go. But the box is being torn down, which means now there's no box, which means we can create whatever it is that we want to create.
Yeah.
We can do whatever it is that we want to do. It's just scary because we haven't thought about it. So we're like, well, what could we do? Well, the possibilities are endless. For all of us, the possibilities are endless. It's actually a lovely thing. Scary? Yes. But really lovely. So I do feel like you will get into school. Just to Bring it back home. Bring it back home, Terry. Get off the soapbox. Bring it back home. Yes, I feel like you'll get into school and you'll do really well in school. I also feel, for whatever it's worth, I feel like you'll meet someone in school. So there'll be a romantic partner or potential in school. So that would work well with you too. But the music thing, because you're passionate about both, find a way to make them come together. And the more silly you are, right? Like with Austin and KymLynn, how silly they are together, the longer things live and thrive, because it's the opposite of bullshit.
Right.
So remember when we were all kids, it was like the world was ours and nothing mattered. There was no such thing as no. And that's where our imagination and our creativity comes in. We get to be kids and we don't have to be told no. We can figure things out and we can have different streams of income doing things differently. It doesn't have to just be one way anymore.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you guys are so awesome. Thank you so much. KymLynn, I hope you have a wonderful birthday. I know it was 2 days ago, but I hope it was a wonderful birthday, and I hope that you do so well with the National Guard. And, you know, everybody is just, all of you guys are just so pleasant and so wonderful to read for. So thank you so much. I've really enjoyed myself. And if you guys want a copy of this, you can listen to it again, because I guarantee you when you watch this again, you'll hear it differently. Just email me. I put in the chat my email address, and I'll send you a Dropbox link, and you can just grab it and download it and just watch it whenever you need to. All right, you guys?
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Bye, guys. It was so nice meeting you. Bye, Mom. All the best with the store. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Oh, it's so great to see you guys. Thanks for watching. Can I ask you for a favor, if you don't mind? Can you write down, I feel terrific today, in the comment section below? Help me engage with you. I want to connect with you. I want to authentically know how you're doing. And also, if you have any questions that maybe I can answer for you in a video, I would love to do that for you. So don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe and share and tell all of your friends about the connections that you're making. And I will see ya on the flip side.